Hi, I would like to talk with you about the idea of morality in African indigenous traditions. Now, there are many things that may be said about morality in African indigenous traditions, but I want to focus on just one thing: the idea that morality in African indigenous traditions is humanistic in nature. Now, what do scholars often mean when they say that morality in African indigenous traditions is humanistic in nature? Now, they mean at least two things. The first is about the origin of morality. The idea that morality in African indigenous traditions doesn't come from a spiritual authority, it doesn't come from a higher power, it doesn't come from God, for example. So, in religions such as Christianity, Islam, and others that believe in God, they believe that God is the source of morality. They believe in God handing down, moral precepts, for example. In Christianity or Judaism, you have God, handing down the Ten Commandments to Moses. In indigenous societies, morality does not come from God. Morality is seen to be something that is established by the society. The society is the authority on morality. This does not mean that morality does not concern God. It does, but morality concerns God in as much as it affects people, in as much as it affects the community, the society, in as much as it affects nature. That is how morality could concern God. It doesn't concern God in the idea that God gave down what people should follow. Morality is often seen as something that is communal in nature. This leads us to the second idea about the humanistic nature of morality. The second idea is that morality is about communal well being. It is about communal well being, not just individual well being. Morality is about making the community flourish. Things that make only individuals to flourish, only individuals and their immediate circle to flourish, those things are not often seen as moral in nature. Things that make one person to prosper while the community suffers, those are not moral things. Morality is judged by how it affects the community, not by what a God says, not by what someone else says. It is how the community conceptualizes how well-being is. That is how morality is thought of. That is what would count as a moral way of being. Things that damage the well-being of the community, those things are seen as not moral things. Things that enhance the well-being of the community, those things are seen as things that are helpful. So we have, for example, the ideas of taboos. Taboos are things that are not to be done because they do not enhance the well-being of society. They may make an individual prosper, they may help an individual, but the point is not about individual well-being only. It is about the well-being of the community in which the individual is part. The individual is not alone. The individual belongs to a community, and that community should be the focus of what individuals do.